Okay, morning everyone. Slightly late this morning. My computer crashed at about 5 to 9. I had to shut everything down and reload all the web pages. So hopefully, in the rush, I've managed to get everything in the right order. Today's chart. Well, not really a lot's changed from yesterday and the day before. We've still got these fronts out to the west. Sort of sat there. Interesting little one just developing here, which will certainly give Kent and possibly Essex and cloud for this afternoon, and maybe us tomorrow morning. Hard to say when the BBC is talking about positioning, but it's just a weak and decaying feature. And that's what's happening to these fronts here. Really, the next sort of front we're actually going to see is probably this cold front here when it comes down over us on Wednesday-ish, Thursday. So for the next couple of days, quite pleasant, but pretty cold. -7 coming in on the car thermometer this morning, so fairly chilly. And you can see very slack area in here. So just like yesterday, hardly any wind, but I think a little bit more of an easterly drift by the looks of it for us. Yesterday, the windsock just stayed sort of stationary most of the day, really. I think we might see a little bit of easterly flow on the ground, and definitely at flying heights, a very light easterly flow. So Taffs, Farnborough, not really. So it's saying 343 knots. Gatwick are saying light northerly. It's not really what currently their METAR is showing, and what the forecast is suggesting. Certainly for the south coast, it's suggesting, down where we are, it's suggesting more the southerly flow. If you look at Southampton, they're giving 0102 knots. So that's what I think we're probably going to have. The other important bits, it's got freezing fog. Yeah, apparently in places there are freezing fog patches. Certainly nothing here at the moment. We're more like the no significant weather, few at 1,500 feet. We did see some more bits of cumulus yesterday, and they didn't amount to much. There was no soaring, but there were odd tiny bits of cumulus. And both Farnborough and Gatwick are suggesting this coming in. This could be this very weak frontal cloud that's coming in this evening, almost after dark, really. Suggested sort of rolling in from the southeast. So yeah, very light winds, cold, and sunny, potentially a little bits of cumulus, but whether there's going to be any soaring is debatable. Upper winds, as you can see, it's a bit sort of all over the place in and around here, but I'm going more with an easterly drift across the channel, which I think we're going to be also just on the edge of. So SatPic suggesting, as you can see, the cloud down to the southeast of us. This is this frontal system here, and it is slowly just creeping its way towards us, but very slowly, and we're really under the thin cloud here and out to the west. It thickened up a little bit yesterday. It just cut the sun off for a bit, which certainly took the edge off the temperature as the day went on. But hopefully we'll sort of sit in here in a sunny bit for most of the day. Temperature wise, I think similar to yesterday, 3 to 4 degrees at best in the shelter. Because of the light winds, it won't feel like there's a huge wind chill. but it's got a long way to go to get to sort of 3 degrees from a start of about -5 or 6 on the airfield this morning. Top meteo suggesting, again, clear patch here that's showing the slightly thicker cloud to the southeast of us. And as you play that forward a few hours, it does creep towards us, but we're in this area here, showing little bits of cumulus developing. That's 2 o'clock. That cloud is still creeping towards us. It's old frontal system, and we're just showing bits of thin upper cloud. So hopefully a pleasant day. Their prediction on the wind, the 30-foot winds by sort of 11 o'clock. You can see the easterly drift here, and very, very light around us. And as the day goes on, perhaps picking up a little bit with an easterly flow. And then the 1,500-foot wind by mid-morning, by 11 o'clock, definitely got an easterly flow here. And that stays there for most of the day, picking up a little bit in the afternoon. So 5 to 10 knots at most from the east at flying heights. So I think that sort of dictates how we're going to operate today, folks. I'll talk about that in a second. So airspace wise, nothing really of note. Here you can see this picture hasn't changed for weeks. Ignore these two, have no real relevance to us. Nothing going on in the Lasham area in terms of airspace. And jet movements, the only thing that's likely to happen is PA31 Yankee Mike will be in at 11 o'clock-ish. It's coming from Humberside. And we'll keep an eye on that, and it'll be in the normal operation. We won't clear off the runway for that. But you might see a fire truck come out to do a runway inspection because of the ice. Operationally, we're going to go on 09. And we'll pretty much operate as we did yesterday, with the gliders on the south side, grass, cables coming down the grass, and the launch point vehicle in the normal place, aero towing from the runway on the centre line. So it's a pretty normal setup. The ground is solid, so you're not going to cut the grass up, and even when it thawed out in the afternoon, didn't really have any effect on the grass because it's half an inch or an inch below the surface. It's frozen solid. So that's going to be a normal setup on 09, folks. Let's go and open the hangar doors, and we'll pull the gliders out. Hopefully they won't freeze up, but we'll keep an eye on that. And I'll see you out there.